great deal of discussion in golf teaching about club face positions during the golf swing. So there's a group of teachers, the majority of teachers actually believe that in the takeaway position, when the shaft is somewhere near horizontal and parallel to the feet line, parallel to the target line, that the leading edge of the club face should be somewhere near in a vertical position. The toe should be up. Now, they would also recommend that it's in a similar condition, club face wise, on the downswing. Another group of golf instructors believe that the club face should be in a leading edge parallel to spine condition at this stage in the backswing. And then there's also a lot of teachers that are in between, somewhere near that, in between the leading edge parallel to the spine and a toe up position, something like this. Not many teachers are going to be recommending this sort of position because this is truly wide open. So there's one other way that's fairly popular with, as far as arguing club face positions. If you were to swing the club up to the condition that I'm saying would be a square one, where it's leading edge vertical, toe up, and then you rotate your body around 90 degrees and face towards the club. This club hasn't changed its orientation to my body. I would consider this to be a square position. So if I go back into setup again, go back into a leading edge parallel to spine position, and then rotate around at 90 degrees, I feel like my right arm is much higher than my left, and the club face is now in a closed position. So if I do the same thing and get into that sort of condition, then I move around, and now it's in a dead open position. What I have here attached to this club shaft at the midway point is a training aid called the Clubface Assistant. So this actually has a metal plate inside, and when we attach it and we have this parallel matching the leading edge of the club face, because it's quite heavy, it changes the balance of the club so that it gets in this position when I'm not exerting any influence over the club at all. It gets the club into a leading edge vertical, toe up position. So when we're in the address position, you just sit the club on the ground and the club face sits in a square position. So anywhere between address and that leading edge parallel shaft backswing position, the club face basically gradually wants to open up, right, to get into that condition. Now the same thing on the downswing, it's going to come from that condition, gradually square at impact, and then on the follow through, it's gradually closing. So that's what I believe is a square to path club face condition. Very important if you want to hit straight shots. Now if I tweak this training aid just a little bit to the left, so I made it so that it's no longer parallel to the leading edge, and I hold the club in this position again where I'm not exerting any influence. Of course it changes the balance of the club and it's making the leading edge go down now. If I drop it down onto the ground, it wants to go into a closed position. So I would suggest that this position here, leading edge parallel to the spine, is definitely a closed position on the backswing, which may be a good thing for some players, but it's going to require that there's probably a rerouting of the shaft in order to open up that face to get it back into this condition. Same thing on the follow through, this club face now wants to flip over more. So if I tweaked it and had it slightly on the right, now it's going to want to open at address, and it's definitely going to want to fan open in the backswing and be open on the downswing, held off in the follow through.